So let me start. I'm going to try and keep it somewhat interactive, and going to ask questions or to the other people that are in the audience. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to raise your hand or interrupt me during the presentation. That's totally fine. But with that, let's get started. So the idea behind this presentation is just to quickly recap and go through the setup of the Power Commons project as it relates to both Microwatt and A2O upgrade. We are going to quickly go through an overview of what the Power Commons project is about. We're going to see what the development platform looks like, what our development workflow looks like, and how it's set up at the moment. Getting started from your side, like how to register for Codeberg and how to get access to commit to different projects. Setting up your local environment for the development work, and then understanding some of the A2O upgrade pages and the task lists that exist on the Power Commons project. Just a quick review of how the tasks are structured, and how to get from a task or claiming a task on Codeberg to the ticket, and eventually developing or contributing on that ticket. So this one's just going to be an overview of the different steps and how everything is set up. And in the next section, we'll actually start with the ticket and see if you can actually develop or implement something following this flow end to end. So yeah, let's carry on. Just a quick question and maybe like a quick show of hands. So of all the interns and students that we have in this session today, can you maybe quickly raise your hand if you have been to the Power Commons website, if you have browsed around, if you know what the project is about? Okay, so we have one person. We have two. Okay, anyone else? Okay, so two people. For the rest who might be new here, so let's see what the project is about. And so first of all, if you haven't done so, even before I go into mission philosophy, especially for those who are new to the call, please, I'm going to paste the link here, and I'm going to also share my screen. Commons.org. So this is the site that you can go to. It's the home for the project. I'm also going to share this screen. Oh, this is SSO. Oh, sorry. Let me just fix the link. It's without the www. It's powercommons.org. So let me know if you guys can share the screen, see the screen. Powercommons.org. That's the link. I'm going to put it to the chat. So yeah, coming back. So now you're on the website. So the Power Commons site and this project was basically set up to democratize access to high performance, secure and transparent computing by creating a full open source processor implementation. So the idea was to have like a community maintained, sovereign and independent high performance processor implementation that's all open and that's all transparent, auditable, and secure. So it's all about like a community-owned processor where anyone and everyone can just download the source code, experiment, play around, and learn about not just learn about the processor, the process of designing processes, but also customize it or change it as per their needs. What we are trying to do as part of, as the first step in this project is, we're trying to revive IBM's A2O processor of the Blue GPU heritage. We're trying to provide a modern FPGA platform implementation based on A2O. Once we get there, the next step is try to modernize the A2O core, which was open sourced a while ago, and it was designed a while ago, so it does not have all the latest open power ISA implementation. So once we have it working on the FPGA, once we have the core booting Linux, the next step we're going to try and do is to bring the processor in line with the latest open power ISA implementation, which is 3.1. And then, the idea is to be fully open, verifiable all along, so at any point in time, all the source code that's developed as part of this community is going to be open. You can verify it however you want. There's a whole bunch of other projects in the periphery that we've discussed and we will be undertaking as and when time permits and as and when our resources permit. And I guess Peter and I have been discussing like a few things regarding some of the dev tooling, regarding some of the tools that could help with some verification, some testing. So basically whatever it takes to have the processor, a modern processor available, with as much tooling as possible, so that anybody can learn, anybody can customize and work with it. And you might have noticed I am stressing open, verifiable, and community like quite a bit. And why it matters is, for digital sovereignty. If you're following any news or any geopolitical stuff lately, and this is like one of the big things that everybody, especially in Europe, is pursuing lately. There've been so many grants, there's been so many projects, and like a whole bunch of politicians also talking about digital sovereignty. Post-surveillance computing, this is more about having code that's open and verifiable, does not have any backdoors, doesn't support any insecure code execution. And basically, like a long-term philosophy is to have technological commons for community and for everybody. Right. So moving on, the development platform of our choice is Codeberg. I don't know if a lot of you have worked with Codeberg before or have even heard of it, but it's similar to GitHub, but the only difference is that instead of being controlled by, let's say, Microsoft or like another big corporation with their proprietary policies and all of that, Codeberg is completely 100% open source and community driven. It's a non-profit organization based in Germany, and their finances and their contributors and like everybody is like pretty open about it. So there's no hidden agendas behind this organization, and that's why it was a very good philosophical alignment with what we're trying to do. So if you haven't been to Codeberg, let me give you like a quick rundown and also share my screen. I'll paste the URL in the chat as well. It's codeberg.org. And this is their homepage. So as you can see, it's nonprofit, it's community driven, and it's not as big as GitHub, but it's pretty good. You can go and register here with your, you can create a username for yourself, create your account, and I'm going to sign in as my user, and then you can see all the Power Commons stuff here. And let's do this. Let's maybe go to the Power Commons page, and this is where you will see all the projects that are under Power Commons project. Let me share this with you as well. So if you click on the link I just shared, you will land on this page. And you'll see like whole bunch of repos here, with Microwatt, build root, and all of that. But let's go back to the presentation and we can continue here. Okay, so yeah, so we're using Codebug for all our projects in code. All repositories are publicly accessible, and issue tracking and ticketing is also integrated. And we also have a wiki and a full request or merge request workflow built in. So if you haven't done so, and if you're planning to be part of the project for long term, if you want to commit to the project, the one thing that we need from everybody is to create an account here. And once you've created your account, you can share your user handle with me, and I can add you to the project so you can start contributing to the repository. Right. So with that, let's have a quick overview of like how the project is organized and how you can go about like finding tickets, identifying tasks, or what you want to contribute on, or even like find a starting point to the project. So this is what your typical workflow would be like. So your first starting point is the A2O upgrade pages on Power Commons website. So let me go there. So once you go here, you can read through like some of this, some of these pages. But the first thing, especially if you're going to be a contributor, you can go to the Power Commons A2O core section, and this is where you can find all the objectives and what we're trying to do with the A2O core. These are the different phases, and you can go to the revival task breakdown section here, and you'll find all the different tasks. Yeah, so basically the A2O project is split into two phases. The first is the revival project, which is making sure or getting to a point where the A2O core, as we inherited, it's working. We can load it onto the FPGA platform with all the latest versions of the different softwares or the frameworks. As an example, Litex or the latest versions of Verilog, build tooling, and all of that. And then once we have, and also like customizing or fixing the Linux kernel boot issues, any timing closure issues, and all of that. So phase one is basically just getting it to work on an FPGA and getting the Linux to boot on the existing core as is. Then there's a second part, which is the upgrade project. So you can see both of them here. 11 is the A2O core, and 12 is the A2O core upgrade. And this is the one we've been discussing in these weekly meetings a bit more often. So this basically breaks down all the tasks that are needed to or will need to be completed in order to get from where we are on the A2 core. I think the current compliance level is 2.7 or 2.07 or something like that. And then our target is 3.1. So this is basically sort of a roadmap with all the tasks and work streams needed to get to ISO 3.1 compliance. So essentially, there's like two chunks of work or two buckets of work, where the one is just to get the existing core working and ready and usable, and putting some tooling around it for Q&A, for testing and verification. And the second one is the ISA upgrade project, which I think is a bit more involved and complex and slightly more longer term. But feel free to like browse around all these tasks, figure out like depending on your interests, and discuss with Peter, discuss with me. If you have questions regarding like some of the tasks that you want to pick up, and we can provide you some more guidance. I'm focusing mostly on the on this part at the moment, just getting the basics up and running and getting the initial core up and running on an FPGA board. There's some people in the team who have started with some of the tasks here. Uh, but I think eventually I'll join these set of tasks as well. As an example, if you are interested in the instruction set upgrades, so if you click on this work stream, it'll tell you what the deliverables are, what needs to be done in that work stream. So if you click on any of these, it'll take you to the subtasks for that. So as an example, the load store extensions. And give you the details here, and then this was like a plan that we kind of pulled together a while ago. So I think most of these are okay-ish, but you might need more details on some of those specific instructions. As an example, if you click on this task, it'll tell you what needs. It'll take you to the Codebug task for this specific ticket, and then it'll tell you. So Rajendra, for example, has been working on this one. And then it'll tell you, like, the estimated effort and, what's needed for this one. So if you get interested in any of these tickets or in any of these issues, feel free to like update the description or, ask for clarity in these tickets. So this is going to be our primary way of working in a bigger group. It would be great if you can just add some comments in the ticket or claim the ticket as yours, and start the discussions here if you want. But that's going to be the primary way of working. So basically, pick up some tasks either out of the revival project or the upgrade project. See what's there. Familiarize yourself with each of these work streams. If something piques your interest, go and browse, read up, look at the tickets, ask questions, and then once you're ready, start looking at the ticket, and then create a pull request or something. So this is what the overall workflow looks like. Let me go back to my slide. So this is what overall workflow looks like. So we just went to the first one. We go to the upgrade pages. We identify tasks. Either create or update the codebook ticket. I think most of the tickets have been created for all those tasks, but if you find something missing, feel free to create one. The next step is really just cloning the repository, working on the code and pushing changes or creating merge requests. And then we together review the code, test, and merge. So just to recap, your starting point would be the A2O upgrade pages, where we've cataloged all the tasks by work stream, codebook tickets, which are linked to those upgrade pages, Git repository, and merge requests. Before we move ahead, quick show of hands from the students and the interns that are here. Have you guys worked with Git before? Are you familiar with creating pull requests, reviewing pull requests, merge requests, and all of that? You can raise your hand if you're familiar with the process, if you're familiar with Git, pull requests, and all of that. Okay. So we have 3 hands. What about the rest?
So I guess when you're asking here, is you're asking the people whether not specifically with Codebug, right? If they've used just the regular GitHub, then
That's correct.
That's also
yeah. So if you use GitHub or any Git related workflows, not necessarily here, but as long as you're familiar with that, please raise your hand. If you haven't, or conversely, maybe we can go the other way around. Is there anybody in this group who hasn't used Git or GitHub or hasn't created a pull request ever in their student life or work life? Okay, So I'm assuming everybody has done that.
But it's not adding up, right? So let me ask it a little bit different. Are there people who, if you think that maybe we need to have somebody, it doesn't have to be you, Sanket, but somebody go through the mechanics of creating a pull request. If you think we should schedule that kind of an overview, can you please raise your hand? Okay, so maybe it's not needed. All right, just making sure.
Yeah, and I think it would be nice to like, I think especially for students, if you're feeling shy or if you're feeling like hesitant, don't please, please speak up. I mean, there's no reason to be shy or feel embarrassed or something. It's an open forum. It's for learning. So, if you communicate, if you say, if you speak up, then it just makes it easier for everybody to get the project moving. We know how to allocate time and resources and where the energy should go in order to build momentum. So yeah, don't hesitate. Don't feel shy. If you feel like reaching out to us on Slack, please do. All right. Any other questions or comments so far?
So next week, right? You're proposing to go take a particular ticket and sort of walk through it together for maybe an hour or two.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
And you're thinking, to take, for example, one of the instructions, maybe it's not quite so complicated problems, or do you already have something in there?
Sorry, Peter, what's that?
No, I'm just wondering. I would assume you're probably going to pick, an instruction or a couple of instructions that are not so complicated. Is that your idea, or did you have anything specific in mind?
Yeah. So I was thinking that I think Rajendra here, I think he actually created like a pull request or something with, I think it was like a byte reverse instruction or something.
Yeah, I remember. I saw that come in. Yes.
So maybe what we can do is we can start with that and then just go through like a formal process of actually creating a pull request, and maybe Rajendra can drive some of that, and I can, you can sort of pair code and drive through, go through that. I think it's a simple enough instruction, and just we just need like a few tune-ups and a few other things to get the right process. But that's what I was thinking. But also open to other ideas.
No, that sounds good. Actually, that also, if your gender is okay with it, I mean, then there's another person beside yourself, right? That people can reach out to and ask questions, right? Because,
yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So maybe we can take this ticket. Yeah, maybe we can take this one as an example, and we just build it off this one.
Sounds good.
All right, so let's carry on. I'm going to go back to my presentation. Yeah, so I think I've already discussed this, but just like formally, so how to get started on Codebug. So go to codebug.org, click register on top right, provide the usual details and create your account. And then once you've done that, if you can please share your user ID in our internal A2O Slack channel, or DM or send like a direct message to me, and I'll add you to the right repos and give you contributor access. Then setting up your environment. I'm not going to go through all the Git stuff and all of that in a lot of details, but I can share this presentation, but this basically shows you how to configure your local Git repository or Git settings to get going. and then just adding your SSH keys for code bulk authentication. I think pretty stock standard process. Stock standard process, nothing fancy here. If you need help, feel free to reach out. Yeah, the one big thing is we do have like a development environment with all the tools preloaded. So all the cross compilers and LiteText and Microwatt and all of that. So this is the link. So if you go to the Power Commons website, let me show the screen again. Okay, powercommons.org. So if you go to the Power Commons website, you will see a link here on the left for development environment. And if you click here, it will tell you what's needed. And then you can just follow the instructions here to get started. So so common tooling that's required for all projects, be it Microwatt or A2O. These are the instructions for installing Windows subsystem for Linux on your Windows machine. Like Mac OS or Macs are not supported. It's only Linux or Windows. If you want to follow like manual instructions, you can follow these ones, but there's also like a pre-built script that you can run on your machine to set everything up. Yeah, here you go. So this will basically set up everything that you need to get started with Microwatt or A2O on your Windows machine, end to end. So just follow the instructions here on this page. I'll share this with you in chat as well. And this will pretty much set up your local development environment. And if you run into issues, please do let me know. Yeah, this is all you need to get started. It'll take a while depending upon your connection speed, but this will give you like a complete environment end to end. The only thing you will need to do on top of this is, because we can't obviously copy Vivado into each of those, so you need to install Vivado after this is done, and you can do it following the instructions here. I'll share this with you on the chat as well. And this should be enough to get you started with pretty much everything. And there's instructions here to also how to build your first bit stream with, let's say, Microwatt. A2O will add shortly, building the Linux kernel and all of that. So I think this would be like a bit more advanced once you've done like some development, all of that, how to customize the kernel and how to build the kernel and all of that. But yeah, give it a try. Get your local machine set up, clone the repo, look around. Then we can go through some of these build and customization steps together in the next session. Right. Just a quick question to all the students here. Has anybody actually set up their environment using the WSL instructions there? I know Api did use this quite extensively. Is there anyone else who's been using this? Rajendra or somebody else? Nice. So Rajendra, you've been using this? Oh, we actually have 2 people. Nice. Great. So if you guys have any ideas, if you run into issues or, or how things can be improved, do reach out to me, post a message on the Slack channel. More than happy to make this better for everybody. But yeah, nice. Good to know. Right, then let's go back to the presentation. I think we've gone through most of this. This is just like a formal organization, how the website is organized, the A2 upgrade pages. how they're organized by technical work streams, and a detailed task breakdown. So if you go back here, the A2O upgrade pages. So on the left, you'll see all the different work streams for the upgrade project that we broke, that we sort of categorized all the tasks into. So there's the instruction set upgrade, there's work related to hypervisor and virtualization, interrupt architecture, storage, sorry, storage management, debug facilities, and all of that. So these are different work streams that need to be completed in order for us to deliver, the upgraded A2O core. So this is exactly what I'm talking about in the slide here. So these are organized by technical work streams. And if you go to any of those pages, you'll find like detailed task breakdown and implementation guidelines. Work streams are basically like what I was showing you previously. They're organized as build system modernization, which is like a revival project to get the first basic version working. And then the next one is, the upgrade project or the RTL improvements. Feel free to browse around. This just talks about like the different tickets and organization. And if you look at each of the tasks on Power Commons, you'll see the task basically contains the task ID in Codeberg, the workstream, title, description, priority, complexity, and expected outcome. So if I go here, let's pick up instructions and upgrades. And then if you look at, it's basically the same fields. I could click on any of the tickets. You'll see the description, workstream, estimated effort, the different tasks that are needed. So as you finish the task, as you start working on the ticket and start adding code or changing code, you can tick off these tasks as you go along to track the progress. And we also know that you've worked on certain things, and then you create like a pull request eventually. So like Rajendra, just a comment here. So it's great that you added your comments here in terms of what you added, but it'd be nice if you can just like tick off these as well. Or if you need to add to these lists, instead of saying that here, you could just create a checklist here, and if you click on it, it'll mark it as done. So just a comment, but still great that you started and how far you got. Yeah. Then back here. So this is the overall workflow that we will follow in the next session. So this is just, this section is just about the overview, but we'll go through this entire workflow together in the next session. We'll pair code. I think well, if it's more than 2 people, then it's called a mob programming session. So we're going to have a mob programming session next week. We're going to follow all of this, all of these workflows. Way to get help with this stack, check the official documentation pages, search issues, create a ticket in Codeberg, or reach out to us on Slack. There's also like a Matrix channel. Matrix is like the open source and open version of Slack. So it's used quite extensively in some open source circles. So we also have a Matrix channel and Matrix chat as well. So feel free to reach out either on Slack or Matrix. The important thing is you communicate, don't go silent. Whatever mechanism you use, that's fine. But do communicate, do reach out through chat. Right, so that's about it. Any questions, comments, queries?